Here is a picture I drew, brothers and sisters, of Miss All Sunday, and I thought it would be fitting considering that she's kind of front and center in this here chapter. So if you like this type of drawing and more, remember to follow me on all the social networks. One Piece, chapter 170, beginning.
Well, hello once again, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always and expected at this point, am Jim, here to bring you another review on just the epic and just mind-blowing tale of One Piece. Our last chapter saw us with, of course, the end of the chapter really ending up, Luffy and company, of course, are at Sir Crocodile's whim and will in a cage. And then, of course, Miss All Sunday went to go fetch Princess Vivi, but ran into, of course, one of her protectors, Pell the Falcon, deemed the greatest warrior of Alabasta. So things left off there. We knew there was going to be some kind of showdown, and things really picked up right there in this chapter as well. The first half of the chapter is really just the showing Miss All Sunday and what her powers are, and of course the fight between her and Pell the Falcon. So first of all, Vivi goes to just nail, because she's pretty angry, obviously, at everyone, Sir Crocodile, Miss All Sunday, and she goes to just nail Miss All Sunday, and she's like, that's not how a princess acts, and just boom, and she jacks her up a couple of times and nails her, and actually it looks like some blood goes and spits out of her mouth, and you kind of get like a shunk, and you're thinking, man, did she like stab her? What the hell did she do? We know Crocodile wanted her back alive, we presume, but Pell goes and just comes right at Miss All Sunday, because he's pissed off. He's going to come fly towards her. And as he goes and does it, there's this really cool drawing that Oda did where he's kind of coming forward and he's got his swords going and everything. And you see like arms coming out of him and you're like, what the fuck is going on, right? And then in the next, panel, you see like those arms grabbing his wings and pretty much pulling him and grounding him, making him unable to fly. So he kind of crash lands on the building over there, that Vivi and Miss All Sunday are on, And you're like, what the hell's going on? So then we go because we always kind of get the reveal then, And Miss All Sunday goes and she's like, you may be strong, but I have the power of the flower fruit, she says. And it gives me the ability to grow, basically sprout limbs from anywhere that I desire, whether it's on her or even someone else. So apparently she's just able to look at him and just go and sprout limbs from him, which is kind of creepy, you know what I mean? I can think of a whole lot of just weird things, like I would mess with people and all of a sudden have like a hand coming out of their ass, because I think that sort of thing would be funny. But that is just me. So, and then we go and they kind of show a picture of her that's real cool that I'm actually going to draw, where it's Miss All Sunday and she's got like 6 arms. They're just coming out of everywhere. So definitely a very cool power. Pell goes and he's just like, and then she goes, I wish I had more time to play with you, but, Crocodile's waiting for me to bring the guest of honor, Vivi. And he's just like, I'm not done with you. I won't, because she says, do you mind if we take her for a little bit? And he's like, are you crazy? So he goes to come at her, and he's got swords drawn. Now he doesn't need to fly, but he's going to come at her as fast as he can, as strong as he can. But again, limbs sprout from everywhere. I mean, she's got ones that come from the ground and grab his legs, ones that come out of him, pin his arms down, put him in a submission hold. They got him like a full Nelson. The one trips him out from under him and just smashes him to the ground. And pretty much just fucks him up and makes short work of him really, really quickly. And Vivi's just thinking, oh my God, And then Miss All Sunday's just like, yeah, so much for Alabasta's greatest warrior. And she goes and she says, you don't seem to understand. Speed and strength does nothing against me. It does nothing because I can sprout a limb from anywhere I want and take people out. So definitely a cool power to see. And as more and more of these are being introduced, I am enjoying it more personally because I like seeing these type of things. Being a comic book guy, you always like to see what type of powers does this guy have. Batman was always a cool guy because he never had any powers. He relied on his skill, sticking to the shadows, and then of course the gadgets he came up with. But pretty much everybody else, had some sort of imbued power that they were, the power of fire, the power of this. So these devil fruits are really, really cool, I think, and some of them are really ingenious. From what Oda conceptualized and then of course put to pen and paper with some of these. So definitely enjoy that. So then we go and we know that he's beat, and then it kind of goes off to the second half of the chapter, and we're back inside the Rain Dinners casino, and we see everybody. It's kind of funny. We see Luffy messing with Usopp. They're kind of like the dynamic duo of dumbasses, And Luffy has got some kind of drawn on eyebrow that's swirly like Sanji, and he's like, "Oh look, I'm Sanji," and then Usopp's trying to imitate him, just like, "Oh yeah, where's all the meat? You ate all the meat, you idiot!" And they're just kind of imitating him, and Sanji's pissed off. He's like, "This is no time to joke around." Nami says, "We got to try to figure out how to get out of here." Zoro's doing his usual thing, sleeping. But they realize that they cannot get out of here right now. But Nami's pretty insistent upon we need to work on a way to get out of here. Crocodile goes and addresses her directly and talks about kind of like her flair, her tenacity, what she has, and makes mention of it. And then she goes and she says, "Yeah, just wait, you may be acting like the big badass now, right? But as soon as these guys get out of here, they're gonna kick your ass straight up into the clouds, And he goes, "You have a lot of faith in your friends, but it's not just you don't seem to get it. You know what I mean? I'm too strong to have anything happen to me." That's kind of what he's getting at. So then we go and we see that Vivi is then coming in to this area down these stairs or whatever, and everybody's like, Vivi, and right away as she's going to come at him, she goes and pulls out her cool little like bolero type thing that she's got, her little whip slingshot / thing with the leaves, whatever that she had as Miss Wednesday that she used. So she's using this thing to go, and she's like, and Luffy's like, "No, let us out," and that's what everybody's saying there. Let us out of the cage first, And but of course Crocodile's between her and the cage. So, and he's just sitting there, he's got his big fur on and everything. And I still don't know what his powers are, okay? I know that he's been able to, he basically was able to, mummify Mr. 3, kind of take his, the water out of him or what have you, and he killed the flower. So, but this is really cool because we wind up getting to see his power very, very quickly. Vivi goes and comes at him, and she's just like, she's pretty much, "You son of a bitch" type of deal, right? And she's swinging this thing, and she goes and there's a really cool just side panel scene of Crocodile just kind of sitting there just chilling. He's just relaxing, man. He's like Hugh Hefner, man. He's got his pipe and smoking jacket and his slippers, Miss All Sundays, his Playboy bunny, right? And all of a sudden you just see this thing come, and it just destroys his head, and his head just explodes, But you notice his head doesn't explode with a bunch of blood coming out of it. It looks to be a bunch of smoke or sand or something like that, right? Some kind of grit. And we find out very quickly in the next couple of panels as he goes and dematerializes his whole body and then rematerializes. And the Smoker even is in the cage, and she's like, "It's no use," and he's just trying to get that through to her. And Crocodile, there were some jabs too about how, very good that you actually infiltrated our assassins, Miss Wednesday type of deal. And she's pissed off, of course, still that he killed Igaram, And he's like, "Oh, you mean Mr. 8, So that's how he looked at him, as a failed agent, But anyway, so this all happens, and then he goes and kind of rematerializes himself, and it's like the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. The power seems to be very similar to what the Mummy itself can do, where he can just kind of turn himself to sand and then go in and turn back into a person. So we assume that he can't be harmed, by normal means, right? Just like Smoker. Because he goes and rematerializes himself, and he says that's the power of the sand fruit. So, and then he goes to grab her, and he's like, "So would you like to be mummified?" So, in addition to that power being able to do what he does, dematerialize and rematerialize and that sort of thing, and obviously not be hurt by normal means, he can also, it seems like, pull the life or life essence, or at least the water out of things. Because obviously, if you pull all the water out of something like a flower, it's going to wilt and die. If you pull all the water out of a human being, they're going to shrivel up and die. So, and become mummified, right? So anyway, that is really how things wind up ending off over here. I mean, it was just a great action-packed chapter, and I cannot wait, as a matter of fact, to go and turn the page and get to the next one over here. Because as we go and we have what'd she say here? Amazing, blah 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 blah. Oh, sorry, wrong chapter. I was trying to think if I missed anything. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. It's basically, it's the end, and things are going down, and then at the end of it, it just kind of fades to black, and it's like, it's 7 o'clock. The Baroque Works plan is about to be put in here. Operation Utopia begins. A long day is beginning. So, sorry, the light is bad in here to actually look and read this over here. But that's what we kind of get over there. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything after the whole deal with Crocodile and everything. But it was very, very cool to actually see, and be revealed in one chapter, 2 different devil fruit powers, as well as, it kind of gives you an idea of how strong these two are going to be to defeat, Sir Crocodile and Miss All Sunday. So definitely looking forward to it. My chapter question is, ultimately, what do you think now that it's been revealed? I'm sure everybody or most of you that watch these reviews, in fact, have discovered what Sir Crocodile's power is. But what do you think? How do you think his power stacks up against other devil fruit bearers that we have seen so far? My that last chapter question, of course, was about Pell the Falcon and his powers, but really in this one we see Miss All Sundays as well as Sir Crocodile's, and really we just kind of do a blanket question. What do you think of both of their devil fruit powers? You answer that question, leave it the answer to that in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and then of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching you in the next one, Nation.
As always, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for watching, rating, sharing, liking, subscribing, and spreading the word of the nation. Here's a little picture of Ace with his kind of, hey, how you doing, darling face on.